Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, welcoming you back to my front parlor. I don't have a back parlor, so I guess it's my only parlor, and a thrift haul. Now, everything that I'm going to show you now came from thrift shops. Yes, thrift shops, that's it. Here in the Philadelphia area and also in South Jersey. Nothing is listed yet. Usually I have things listed, but not today. Some of the things I'm keeping and some will be for sale very soon in the Old Curiosity Shop. So you'll just have to come back. No, don't worry. I'll tell you when everything's listed because things will reappear quickly on a kitchen counter thrift haul. Now, I think this is Friday night, meaning I think I will drop this video to be released on Friday night. So if it is Friday night, I hope you're having a good time, and if it's not Friday night, just ignore me. I was on South Street digging around in a secondhand store, which I like to do. And I went in the opposite direction, and there was a used clothing shop that also said it had some bric-a-brac in the back. So I walked in and it was mostly vintage clothing, but I got all the way to the back and look at what I found. Now, I collect Art Deco. Cheap Art Deco, you know, dime store Art Deco. Not that expensive French stuff. That stuff is nice, but I can't afford it. The everyday deco and art moderne that people would have in their homes. This is made in Japan in the 1930s. It's a little serving tray. It's got two handles here, so it's not a dresser tray. This could have been the tray to a breakfast set, so a muffineer and a syrup and a sugar and a creamer and all that could have sat on this, or it could just be for cheese and crackers or whatever you'd like. But just look at the geometric design. This is early deco, and you don't even have to, you know, it's either Czechoslovakian or Japanese. Of course it is. There's a made in Japan mark on the back, and porcelain in really good condition lusterware. That's gone into my own Art Deco collection. Wow, I don't have anything like that. That was a thrill. I'm also going to keep a hold of, I collect also, well, I won't say collect, but every time I find a little orphaned 1930s juice glass, they're not always swanky swigs. But this has just got a simple red and black band on it. Just one little orphan juice glass, unmarked. Probably Anchor Hocking. I'll keep a hold of that. Now, you know I don't have to tell you what this is. We talk about this about every other video, but here we go. It's made by Hazel Atlas in the 40s, made in platinite. There were 4 of them, blue, yellow, orange, and green. They were given away as a premium when you bought so many boxes of Kix cereal, and this was called the Gay Rainbow set. They're little milk pitchers for the breakfast table. There were no creamers that went with them, and they were just these 4 little pitchers. I have sometimes put pictures of the pitchers up on the screen, but I won't this time because you've seen it. But that blue one will go up for sale. This will go up for sale too. I always find the big Hall apple, 1940s. I don't usually find the small one, and this is the small one. The one thing you want to look out for these, they're chipped easily, they craze, and they stain easily. This one is really great. I mean, there's almost no wear on the painted surface at all. This blushing apple. Little bit of crazing on the inside and a little bit of staining, but a nice example of this without chips or cracks, and it's the little one instead of that great big cookie jar, which I normally find. So this bad boy will be up for sale when I get it listed. This I'll probably keep. I have one that's 3 times as big as this, And it's just a little silver-plated basket from the 1920s era. It's a little decorative thing, and I'll just show it to you. It's unmarked. You know, sometimes there were glass inserts. There wouldn't have been a glass insert for this with the handle, but sometimes if there is no handle, sometimes you would see an Epergne base that looked something like this, but it's just a little decorative piece. Very fancy. I looked at it quickly and couldn't find a mark. There's probably a mark on it somewhere. Sometimes the mark will be on the handle, tucked way up under here somewhere. But I wasn't looking very closely. This was only a couple of dollars in the thrift shop, and I just really like it. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. Fill it with candy corn. I'm always talking about candy corn, aren't I? And I only eat it. You can get it all year round now, but that's no fun. Just only eat it in October. That's my rule for me. I have a thing for vinegar cruets, and here's a nice, very nice crystal EAPG. Now this one is blown. Smooth pontil on the bottom, polished pontil. And of course, you know, you'll find these chipped up, fogged up, missing I've just lost my vocabulary. Not spout, not plug. I know what this is called, and you're all screaming at me. And sometimes the words, they're there, but they're in the washing machine. And it's just not finial. I know what it is, but it just went somewhere. Anyway, we've got the original one that matches. The pattern is the same. So just a nice little vinegar cruet for the table. Stopper, that is not what I'm thinking. Am I thinking of stopper? I'm thinking of some other word. I don't know. Apparently I'm not thinking of it. Now look at this. Wait a minute. Where? Ooh. Hold on. I'm coming right back. Let me get out of here without tangling myself up in all these wires. I cannot believe I've got this stuff way over here. I forgot all about it. I'm burning one of my little whatchamajig logs tonight instead of wood. People always say, do you have a gas fire? It's so even. You've seen me burn wood before, and I have to poke at it, but I'm not burning wood tonight. It's a Duraflame log, right? Yeah, that's what it's called. Okay, look at this. This will be for sale in a beautiful springtime sale, which will be coming up, and the lights are going to just mess this up, but this is beautiful. It's a German porcelain. I wish you could see the delicate colors in this. This is a pale, almost a vellum color. You'll see it much better when I actually take the pictures of it. It's all hand painted by someone. This was a porcelain blank. They did roses and they put gilding on it. Little type of candy dish you could use it for. And it's German. And it is just really nice. And it looks a lot like, the colors are very similar to this piece right here, but this piece is unmarked. So I'm not sure where it came from, but someone painted it. And it's just an adorable little porcelain watering cup. Okay, it even has the holes in it. You could stick hat pins in there if you want. But it's all hand painted porcelain, and I'm gonna cover up the signature. I don't want you to know who signed it. I'll tell you why. It's a famous person. Okay, a famous person painted this, and I want you to guess who it could be. They are known by one name, you know, like Cher, Prince, Madonna. I don't know who else who I can think of, but it's none of them. Okay, but it's a one-word name. I'll give you clues. It's a female. It's a first name. Oh, if I tell you any more, you're going to get it. I'm not going to tell you anymore. Female, first name, entertainer. That's it. Okay, and you don't have to know her last name. That's who signed this. Now, of course, it's not the same one, but I'm still not going to tell you. You guess in the comments below. You'll find out. This is nice. Nice. Very, very nice. Now, I also have a drink caddy, and I got to get my book out. Cambridge, I'm not sure. One of the fancy makers, probably. A caddy for glasses, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So that's nice. I've got, can you hear the music? Yeah, we got, I don't always listen to 1920s and 30s. I like dance music and electro, and I've got the you know, the club music on. I don't know if you can hear it. I hope you can't, because I'll get a copyright strike. Let me see here. Look at this. Now you know I'm not going to sell this, and as soon as you see it, you're going to go, "Oh my gosh, what does he want with that?" I think it's in horrible shape, and it is in horrible shape. But it has found the right owner. Me. Because I'm going to restore it. Now, it's not a radio. You say, wait a minute, Philco, of course it's a radio. It's a push-button radio. My grandfather had one just like it. Well, now, hold on. I want you to study it for a minute. If it were a radio, what's missing? It's very American streamlined. Yeah, like all the buildings down in Miami. Now the horrible condition is we've got to glue it and clamp it and get this side back in. This is all coming apart. It's covered in scratches. The grill cloth is probably needs to be replaced. We've got a great old bullet knob there. Things don't click when you turn them off and on anymore. And it says Philco, and it has an electrical cord, and it's got vacuum tubes in it. Well, a radio doesn't have connections on the back like this, terminals on the back like that. And it doesn't have a switch like this. You got it, it's an intercom. From the 1930s, Philco made such things, and this would have been on, an executive's desk, maybe the president of the company, or a banker, or just anyone who needed an intercom who had a secretary. So, you know, they were men, of course, and in those days, the man could, you know, he would push down on this. Mrs. Huygens, will you bring me a coffee? You remember Mr. Tudball and Mrs. Huygens? Well, anyway, that's what this is. It's an intercom from an office in the 1930s. Now, I'm not going to actually be able to restore it as a working intercom because you need several other pieces. You need transmitters and receivers, and you need all kinds of stuff. But I'll restore this cabinet and get it looking really good and keep it as a nice example of Deco, American streamlined design. Now, I'm going to tell you about a couple books that are on the bookshelf, and we're going to go out tonight with a 78 RPM. So it's Friday night. Hold on now. Wait a minute, don't get too excited. I'll tell you when. You can roll up the carpet, roll down your stockings, and cut the rug. I guess you're not going to cut the rug if we roll it back. But we're going to hear Yes, We Have No Bananas, a big hit in the early 1920s. And I picked it up on a Columbia record. This is played by, it says the Lannon Orchestra, which is probably Sam Lannon and his orchestra. Yes, We Have No Bananas, Foxtrot. This is the early 20s, 1924, 23, 24. And the last time I held up one of these records, someone, said, you shouldn't put your fingers on it. Well, okay, you don't want to put your fingers on CDs and I wouldn't really do it with vinyl. You're not really going to do any damage to a 78 with your just handling it like this. These are shellac records. The groove is deep. The steel needle will have no problem playing this record, and it's really, I'm not suggesting that you necessarily put your hands all over it, but we're really not hurting it any to be handling it this way. And this one's in really good condition. I've been collecting 78 records for 40 years. Well, 39 and a half. I'll be 55 in July, and I started collecting 78s when I was about 15 years old. I'll show you some old pictures one of these days. This was one of the first things I started collecting. We're going to hear that at the end of the video, which is now 15 minutes long. Let me tell you what's on, what I'm reading right now. Depression Pottery. Now, Depression Pottery. This is not going to be sort of your average dinnerware, Homer Laughlin and Taylor Smith Taylor and whatnot. These are more of well, not necessarily art pottery, but it's a nice book. I picked it up used, and of course, Depression era pottery, you know, that's right up my alley to be reading about that. So it's by Jeffrey Snyder, and they talk about Bauer, Pottery, Catalina, Fulper, Pacific Clay, Rookwood, Roseville, Weller, and others. So lots of different potteries from the 30s, and you know, there's pictures and descriptions, narrative. I'm enjoying this. I'm learning from it. So if you like the 30s and you like pottery, you might be able to pick that up secondhand. There are lots of secondhand online resources for collectors' books. And then this I picked up not too long ago at a thrift shop, didn't pay much for it. I absolutely love Ralph and Terry Covell. Now you old-time collectors, you know who they are. If you have been doing this back in the 80s and the 90s, did you meet them? I met them a couple of times at some antique shows. I believe Mr. Covell is no longer with us. Mrs. Covell, I believe, is, in fact, she is. She's in her 90s. And I have a subscription to her. I think her children might be carrying on. There's a wonderful newsletter that I get, and old articles and whatnot. They were just, let's see if here they are. Here's a picture of them. They were simply lovely people. They were down to earth. Doesn't it look like you'd like them to be your neighbors? They were not pretentious at all. They would be on television, and they were approachable, and just salt of the earth, lovely. And I have always enjoyed anything that they produce. Having said all that, they're not paying me anything, and what am I saying? They're not my sponsor, but I like them a lot. So I'm reading the American Pottery book, American Art Pottery book by the Covells. This is extensive, and this is fantastic. Marks, pictures, scholarly. I mean, they worked on this for years. Reminds me of my lampshade. So anyway, I just can't say enough. It's a fantastic book. You can pick it up and put it down and keep it by the bed or keep it by the fireplace. And I would love to hear in the comments below, are you guys familiar with Ralph and Terry Covell? Were you a fan of theirs back in the 1980s and 90s? Did you ever meet them? Yeah, I just have so much respect for them. And they remind me so much of the kind old people that I knew years ago, the old collectors, when I was just some dumb 20-year-old starting out and didn't know Hazel Atlas from Anchor Hocking. There were so many older people who had collected all their lives, and they just took an interest and taught me so much, and I miss those people. Oh, I'll show you some pictures and name some names one of these days, but not tonight. All right, that I think is it. Yep, get your dancing shoes on. It's time for Yes, We Have No Bananas, so stay tuned for that. But right now, I'll say I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. Wait for the record, wait for the cat. So long for now.